Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today we're going to look at shortcut keys for Intellij. Now I'm not going through all of them, of course, but I'm going through the shortcut keys that I like and the shortcut keys that I use quite often. And I think they are very useful. As a developer, most of the time is actually spent navigating around in our project and finding the right file and the right class and the right method to edit, and also to fix the errors that we introduce while doing so, right? So that's why I think it's very important to know some good shortcut keys, yeah, and just be efficient with your editing. Let us jump right into it. I already have a project right here. This is a project that I used for my aspect-oriented programming tutorial, which is also available on my YouTube channel. But let us just get right into it. The first thing I want to show you is actually Alt Insert. So if you go to the top of the class, press Alt Insert, then it will help you with the context that it is in. Right now it's up at the class name, so that means that then we can create a constructor if that's what we want to generate. We can create a getter, we can also create a string method, we can also override methods, and we can also create a test, or we could also create a small copyright section on top of our class. I want to create a test in this example right here, so I'll just choose tests, and then I take off the method that I want to test, and it's JUnit5, yes, okay. And then a test is actually generated for me. So this is quite good and very easy. Then we have the double control button. If I press control twice, and of course these shortcut keys I'm running on a Linux system. If you're running on Mac, of course the shortcut keys are a little bit different, because you have some other keys on your keyboard, like the command button, for instance. Before we actually go any further, I would actually like to show you, if you press Ctrl Alt S for settings, and you have a corresponding settings button, or a shortcut key in with Mac, then you can actually go and choose your key map. If you press key map right here, then you can actually set the key map that you want to use. So if you come from a Sublime Text world, or if you come from an Eclipse world, then you can actually set the shortcut keys to begin with to match that. I would actually recommend that you use the default settings, because then you will get into if you go to a colleague and tries to help a colleague, then you are much better off, because then you know that the shortcut keys are the same on his or her machine. That's just my personal opinion. But I actually press Ctrl Alt S to get in there into the settings menu right there. Another good shortcut key is actually escape. If you want to close a pop-up window, you just press escape. Let's say that you have focus on a package instead of the code, and you want to jump to your code. Press escape, then you end up in the code menu again. But right now I have a test I would like to run. Of course I could press the green button right here, and there's also a green button up in the top. So there's a lot of green buttons that I could press. But I can also, let us say that I was not in this class. Maybe I was not. This is the manipulator component test class. Maybe I was in a whole other class. Then I can press Control twice. This will run everything. This can run Gradle commands. This can run tests, as we just did right there. So let us say that I write test right here. Let me just write manipulator, and then the reason why the test does not come, the test is not here yet, is because it has not been run yet. So you need to run it once. So we need to go and run this test once. And if you want to, we can actually press Ctrl Shift F10 to run the test. There's no default shortcut for debugging. So if I press Ctrl Shift F10 on the test right here, then I run it once. And if I want to rerun the last test that I ran, then there's another shortcut key for that, and that is actually Ctrl F5, as you can see in the bottom right here. So Ctrl F5, then the test will be rerun. Now I can double click my control button, control twice, and then I can be somewhere else, and you can actually see that that my run configuration is right here. Then I can see my recent runs right here. There's something called manipulator test right there. Then I can press enter, and then that test will actually be run. This is very useful, but you need to run it once, and it can also run your application. So let's say that you actually have run the Spring Boot application once. Then again, you can use, I'll just stop the application right away. then you can actually use control twice. I press control twice again. Then I write spring education is actually right there, and this is also current if you have multiple profiles, multiple profile runs. Then you can also find those there. Multiple configurations can be found in that menu also. So control twice is one shortcut that I'm using a lot. Another thing is that if I want to view the outline or the structure of the project, then I press Control F12. Some people actually like to have the structure view open all the time, but I don't need it. I don't need it all the time. So you can also press Alt7 right now. Alt1, then I go to my projects view. Alt7, then I go to the structure view. But I usually when I need the structure, then it's because there's something I cannot find, right? So let us say that I have a really large method. Let us create a huge method right here. This is our component right here. Let us create. I'll just create some blank spaces, and then I'll create a public void something. So then we have the method right here. Then I want to find the other method, or maybe I want to find a maybe I worked with a colleague who actually placed the member variables a weird place. So my member variable, my member var 1, and this could be a string like this. And then I was somewhere where I cannot find the member variable, so then I want the structure. So then I press Control F12. Now I can see, oh, there's my member variable. Enter. Then I end up in my with my member variable. Another good shortcut is Alt up and down. Then I will jump from method to method. Now I'm jumping, and if you continue pressing up, then you end up with a class at the class level. So Alt up and down there are very useful, and of course you probably know about control and then left and right. Then you jump one word. I really like those also. And then you can set up. You can actually set up navigation, so you can move forward and move next to where you had last edited something. I have set up Control Shift Alt and the back arrow and arrow left. Sorry, left arrow. Then I end up to where I edited something left and on last time. And then Shift Alt and then right arrow. Then I end up where I had where I was the last time. So that means this will also jump between files actually. So if I continue pressing back, I should end up in the tests. Yeah, look, now I end up in my tests, because they will actually just go the same places as I have actually navigated early on, and that's where I will actually go. Another good thing is, let us just go back to the component. Now I want to introduce some errors. I forgot a semicolon right there, and maybe I forgot to close this completely. And let us go to something. Maybe here was also some kind of error. What should this be? Int I equals 42. It's actually a string now. So now I have a lot of errors, and you can actually see there's a small error, red mark right here that says 5 errors and 3 warnings. And you can jump between all the errors and the warnings in the file by pressing F2 like this. So now it actually jumps between all the errors in the file. I can also press Shift F2, then it goes backwards instead. Of course, usually you would not leave an error, so you will not have a file where you have like 20 errors in it. Maybe you have. Maybe if you made a bad refactoring or something like that, then you could end up with that. But it's not a usual scenario. Here, I can actually also press. Here, of course, the error is clear. That we could actually finish it. I can also press Alt Enter. Okay, I need to fix this error right here. If sorry, Control Shift Enter, that was the one I was looking for. Control Shift Enter, then I get my semicolon, and if I have a string that was not terminated, then it will also terminate the string for me. So let me say that I go to box right here. I forgot to terminate the string, and I also forgot the semicolon, and so let me just try to press Control Shift Enter. Then it actually closes all that stuff for me. This is a very common situation where you're a little bit too fast, and then you forgot to close both the bracket and also the quote, right? So I think that is very, very useful also. And if I'm here, I'll just do this again, Control Shift Enter, then it closes it for me. Another thing is Alt Enter. Let me just write something. let us say that I did not have this object proceed right here. Then I can press Alt Enter, and then I can introduce new variable. That means that again, this is context specific. It will help you fix stuff, so and it will help you generate code. So Alt Enter right here, then I can create a local variable. That's actually how I made this line. Usually, when I code, I just write whatever I want to get right here, and then I know I can always get the local declaration right there. If you're dealing with, yeah, that's actually just so. Of course, Control Z, I use that a lot when I make mistakes. So if I want to undo something, then you can press Control Z and Shift Control Z, then you redo it. Another good shortcut is Control D for duplicate and Control Y for delete whole line. Control D for duplicate. You can also duplicate interlines, but here Control D for duplicate, and also Control Y to delete these right here. If you want to refactor code, then you just mark the code that you want to refactor. Maybe this code right here. You can press Alt Enter, and then you can extract the method. Now you actually have a separate method with all its code. This is really, really good for refactoring. Another thing you can do with refactoring, if you have two classes that extend each other, then you can choose to pull code up in the parent class or in the interface. If it's an interface that is being used, you do that by right click and then use this refactor and then pull up and down. I don't think I'll show you this right now because I'm focusing on the shortcut keys in this example right here. Then we have some usages where things are being used. So if I want, for instance, to see where my spaceship is used, then of course I could right click, and then I could say find usages. I could also press Alt F7. Alt F7. That's also very useful shortcut key, because then you get all the usages which are shown right here. And here we have all the usages, and then I can click go through them. If at some point I want to go back, I just press Escape. Then I end up where the cursor was in my code early on. So Escape is actually a very useful button, just so you know. I'm using Escape a lot. What else? Yes, if you mark your project in the top right here, then you can press F4 to get the structure opened. And I also use that if I want to debug. Maybe I want to check which Java SDK version is actually being used project-wise, and also on each module right here. Sometimes, yeah, there could be someone. Oh, actually, it's very rare that people choose another module SDK than the project. It's always the same as the project. Control E to get recent files. It's also really handy. Control E. Get recent files, then I can go down and find the component test again, if that's what I want to find. Shift, if you press Shift twice, then you can actually search for everything. So this is search for everything. So if I want to find my properties file, I can write properties, dot properties maybe, dot properties. Right now I'm looking for my dot properties file. Did I not create one? Was that why? Oh, I have actually an application that properties right there. Maybe need a wildcard in front. This should actually find all files. Let us try to write application like this. It should actually find application of properties. Maybe it's still searching. That's why. Maybe I should be a bit more patient. It's a bit weird. I cannot find it. Let me try to open the file first. It should be able to find application.properties. Yeah, I looked at this. It's a little bit weird. I could not find it early on. But Shift, then you can find anything. You can also find, if you want a setting, for instance, then you can write keymap. So it's everything in the whole application. It's not just files and classes. It's also features like the keymap. If you want to go to see the keymap, you can actually also change the keymap in this situation right here. I can go and change the keymap to something else. Again, let us see Gradle. What if I write Gradle? Then I get build.gradle, or I can go to the view tools Gradle. So now I get the view tools Gradle instead. And you can see right now the focus is over here. Then I can run a Gradle. Yeah, with the run anything, I can actually also run Gradle stuff. So I can actually also write Gradle and then clean build if I want to. Then I run. Again, that was control twice. I hit to come into the run everything or run something. Double shift twice. Search for anything that you want. Of course, you can also change and say you only want to look for classes or files or symbols or actions or something in Git. You can also press Control N, then you search for classes. So if I want to look for my spaceship class, then I press Control N instead of Shift twice. There's probably a lot of shortcut keys that I probably forgot, right? Control and then /. I'm using the numpad right now to enable this, to use this. Then I can comment in or comment out stuff. I can also mark a whole class. Control /. Then I can comment out everything. So that is pretty awesome. And it works for all types of files. So let's say that I have my var equals blah 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 something. Then I can press Control /, and then again it will just be commented out this time with a pound key, and with the number sign instead. Let me just comment it in again. Press Control Y to delete one line. What else? There's probably then there's format the project. Let us say that I've made too many indentations here and I forgot to make an indentation. Right now I think if I save, okay, then nothing actually happened. Control Shift F. That is, I think it's actually Control Shift L, which is the default. But I've changed my key mapping. Actually, I've customized it a little bit. But you could actually format this line right here. Reformat code, Control L. This is actually the default setting. It's because I actually know why. It's because I installed the newest Intellij and then reset the key mapping when I did that. So Control L, then you reformat the code. And again, this feature with Shift twice, it's so awesome, right? Because then I did not know where this was, and then now the code is reformatted. Let me just try Control L. Then I lock my machine instead, and that is exactly why I customized it in the other version of in the older Intellij. Control L will lock your machine on some computers. I think this is a good one to stop on. So let me just go. Let me just say that. Let me get a waterfall right here. Let us get the bell first. I want to say thank you very much for watching. I want to say have a great evening. I want to say hope to see you again soon, and bye bye.